Hi everyone, I'm Rosie and welcome back to my channel. If you've seen my other videos, you know I adore classic New York style bagels. But it's about time I combine my love of sourdough with my love of bagels to bring you an insanely easy method for making, you guessed it, sourdough bagels. These bagels have a beautiful crunchy crust and are so chewy and flavorful on the inside. I hope you give this recipe a try and let me know what's your favorite type of bagel. Let's get started. I'm going to mix the dough the morning of the day before I want to make the bagels. I'm measuring out 550 grams of bread flour. I add 2 teaspoons of Himalayan pink salt, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of barley malt syrup, and 2 tablespoons of unfed starter straight from the fridge. Then I add 1 1/4 cups of room temperature water. You might need 1 to 2 extra tablespoons of water to help the dough come together. Yep, you heard that right earlier. You don't need to feed your starter ahead of time for this recipe. I'll be letting the dough ferment at room temperature for 10 to 12 hours, and then in the fridge overnight for another 10 to 12 hours. With such a long fermentation, there's plenty of time for your starter to activate right in the dough. I use barley malt syrup in all my bagel recipes. Although it's not a common ingredient, this is the secret to giving bagels their distinctive taste that differentiates them from normal bread. Just mix until the dough comes together. I'll smooth out the clumps later once the dough has had a chance to rest for about 30 to 60 minutes. If you want to see how I made my starter with no discard at all, I'll link that video in the description box. By the evening, I'm going to transfer the dough to the fridge for a cold ferment overnight. This long cold fermentation gives the bagels delicious complex flavor and prevents the dough from getting too sour. The next morning, I'm going to take the dough straight from the fridge and divide it into 8 pieces. I shape each piece into a tight ball by dragging against the board, rotating it 90 degrees, and dragging it again. Then I use my finger to poke a hole in the middle. I dust both sides and the hole with flour and let the dough rest while I work on the others. Once the water is boiling and the oven reaches 425 degrees Fahrenheit, I go back to the first bagel I made and stretch it out. Stretch and boil them in the same order you shape them so that each one gets a short rest period. This is plain egg white with nothing else added. After I brush on the first layer, I go back and add a second layer. This double egg wash is what will give you that shiny, crunchy crust. Then add any toppings you want. I'm making sesame, poppy seed, everything, and plain bagels today. See how easy it is to make homemade sourdough bagels? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more easy cooking and baking videos, and say hi in the comments. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!